Ladies and gentlemen, now in today's video, courtesy of the legendary data miner Otriux, we're going to be having a bit of a look at the early data mine abilities for Sue Storm, also known as the Invisible Woman, who's going to be arriving next month in Marvel Contest of Champions, alongside Namor. And we've done the Namor abilities breakdown, man. He looks absolutely insane and so fun to play as well, providing that the values are there, and he has a lot of oomph to his bleeds and also regeneration. However, Invisible Woman is looking really interesting as well. She might have a lot of potential for power reversal. So yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a chat and talk about everything that she's gonna be able to do. However, just before we get into that, man, a massive shout out to Otriux for getting all this information together. If you want to support him and his quest to data mine stuff and dig up all the future stuff, a link to his channel and also Twitter will be in the description and also comment section as well. So yeah, show him a little bit of love, man, because he puts a lot of hard work in, you know, behind the scenes to get all of this information together. However, when we're talking about the Invisible Woman, I want to cover the two base mechanics to start with, and also just this line here as well. So just something that the Invisible Woman has at her base. So for each debuff on the opponent, Invisible Woman's attacks deal additional damage dealt as a burst of physical damage. So something to keep in mind there. However, her two core mechanics are Force Field and also Invisible or Invisibility. So Force Field seems like a really interesting mechanic. So Invisible Woman starts the fight with a force field. The force field's maximum strength is equal to a certain amount of her health, and this scales with boost and also buffs as well. So if force field is active, Invisible Woman's hits have additional attack rating, but also when you hit, it's going to drain the force field as well. Whenever Invisible Woman would take damage other than from a special 3 attack, the force field takes up to a certain percentage of the damage dealt instead. This actually might be 100%, I'm not really too sure of the value. Because again, a standard disclaimer when it comes to the early abilities, any numbers in the squiggly brackets mean that they're not yet in the game. So this could be, you know, anything from like 40% to 100%. We don't really know the value, but I'm really hoping it's 100%, man, because that'd be insane at mitigation there. Also, when the force field runs out, it goes into cooldown for a certain amount of seconds, after which it will reform at a certain percentage of strength. However, if the force field doesn't reform for any reason, I assume this is probably going to be ability accuracy reduction related. It then goes into cooldown again for a certain amount of seconds. Also, while you have the force field active, you gain additional physical and energy resistance, so this might be good considering she's a science champion for characters like Magic's Limbo, Mephisto's Aura of Incineration, Dormammu's Degeneration there, and maybe also like Havoc as well for his energy detonations, might be able to absorb a fair bit of that damage. So it seems like a pretty interesting mechanic for survivability and mitigation there. Also, while under the effects of a passive damage over time effect, the force field gains strength every certain amount of seconds as well, so it seems any damage over time is going to bump that up a bit. So I think when it comes to like Dormammu's Degeneration or Mephisto's Aura of Incineration, could be really good there. Also, if the force field is active, there is a chance to exhaust the opponent, decreasing critical damage rating by a certain amount for a certain amount of seconds, and also the opponent's power gain effects are also reduced by 25% for each exhaustion debuff on them. So depending on the chance to apply and also duration, this could work like it works for Luke Cage, where if you get over 4 of them, so like 5+ exhaustions, you can actually reverse power gain on champions like Mephisto, Mordo, whenever you got a Spite node, Hyperion. So yeah, that could be very valuable in the right scenario there. And also you have a chance to gain a precision passive as well, but also the exhaustion does have the synergy with the bonus physical damage as well, so that could be also phenomenal for the damage output, and the chance to gain a precision increases by a certain percentage for each debuff on the opponent as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the force field, man, but there's a lot of benefit from that first core mechanic there. And then we have the second core mechanic, which is Invisible. So Invisible Woman turns invisible whenever she dodges an attack or the force field is depleted. Invisibility lasts for a certain amount of seconds but starts paused if Invisible Woman Woman is not bleeding. So if she's not bleeding, then it's going to pause for a bit and then expire, but if she is bleeding, it just goes instantly to the expiry, I assume. So yeah, if you have her bleeding, you've got less uptime on the invisibility, so that might be potentially one of the ways to counter her there. Also, whenever Invisible Woman would turn invisible, she places a vulnerability debuff on the opponent up to a maximum of a certain amount of vulnerabilities, and vulnerabilities decrease the opponent's block proficiency and also increase the crit damage rating against them by a certain amount, and when invisibility expires, it's going to have a cooldown for a certain amount of seconds, much like Ghost phasing, I imagine. While invisible, incoming attacks have a 100% chance to miss, as long as Invisible Woman is not blocking or dodging, and critical rating is increased by a certain amount as well. So this seems like a bit of a better version at first glance of Ghost phasing mechanic, because also it looks like when you throw an attack, you're still going to be invisible, so you don't have that risk of, like, if you go for an attack on Ghost, it immediately breaks your phasing there. So yeah, might be really good. And also you gain bonus crit rating while invisible as well. All vulnerability debuffs are purified when invisibility expires. However, whenever a vulnerability debuff is purified, invisibility expires immediately. So what does this mean? This means if you have a way to get rid of the vulnerability debuff, I imagine skill champions that shrug off stuff like Kingpin, Agent Venom, you've got Aegon, potentially Crossbones as well, Nick Fury, then you can immediately get rid of vulnerability and dispel invisibility there. So that, along with bleeds, seem like a very good way to fight Invisible Woman. And also Nick Fury, as long as he has, 5 tactical charges, his attacks can't miss. So yeah, Nick Fury seems to be a really great counter to Invisible Woman. But I'm really interested to, see how he works for the matchup there. And then we got the special attacks. So, the special one is Field Trip. Invisible Woman launches an energy construct, sails into the air, and then kicks a second construct at the opponent. So this looks like it's going to be really cool visually. On the last hit, if the force field is active, add a flat percentage to its current strength, so it beefs up the force field there. And also on the last hit as well, if force field is on cooldown, there's a chance for it to be restored at a certain percentage strength, hopefully 100% chance there, to get your force field back if you do lose it. Now the special 2, Invisible Woman knocks the opponent off their feet with an energy platform and then slams into them with her force field. So the first hit of this attack grants Fury for a certain amount of seconds, which is going to increase attack rating, scaling with the current force field strength, but then the force field is drained. If this attack is blocked, Invisible Woman has a % chance to turn invisible as well. So this looks like a way to convert your force field into a massive amount of damage here. And I think with the way that the special 1 functions as well, with the force field recovery, you should be able to fire off the special 2 when you're very close to the special 3, and then maybe do another couple of hits and maybe get the force field back via the special 1 as well. So that's a potential combo there, but you can use the damage mitigation to potentially get a big old burst of damage to hopefully get you through certain phases there. So the special 2 seems a little bit interesting. And then we got special 3, which is Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Sue vanishes before the opponent's eyes, launching them into the air with an energy platform, and then sends them flying into the wall. So if force field is active, it adds a flat percentage to the force field's current strength. If the force field is on cooldown, it instead is restored at a certain percentage of strength, and also pauses invisibility on Invisible Woman, and it cannot unpause for a certain amount of seconds. So you gain guaranteed invisibility for a certain period of time, which could be really useful. And yeah, maybe there's it depends how big the force field charge is, but you could charge it up for additional damage mitigation. Maybe you want to charge it up and then combine it with a special 2 shortly after to really send the opponent flying. So yeah, I'm interested, man. There's a lot of potential in terms of rotation and ways that you can play Invisible Woman by the look of it. But I'm seeing some fairly interesting damage potential. Invisibility, very valuable mechanic, and also the power gain mitigation and also reversal could be insane for certain matchups as well. Also, she does have a pre-fight ability apparently in the game files called the the best defense, but there are no details of what this is, so this might be in the game, might not, but I assume it's probably going to enhance her force field even further. And also her signature ability is Vanishing Axe, so Invisible Woman turns invisible at the start of the fight, but it is not paused, so you can immediately start by just nuking into the opponent there, and there is a chance for her to turn invisible whenever she is knocked down. I imagine that's probably going to be more on defense there. However, this one seems like it's going to be really, really good for her on offense, so whenever the opponent misses, the force field gains back a percentage of its starting value. So I imagine this is going to be really good, kind of like, you know, Ghost gains power when the opponent misses and phases. Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, is going to gain her force field charge. So yeah, that seems like it's going to be really, really useful there. But overall, man, looks like a really, really cool character. I'm very, very excited for Invisible Woman. We also have a little bit of information on her champion synergies, and I assume the first one is with the Fantastic Four. So this one, block proficiency is increased by 5%, perfect block chance is increased by 10%, and I assume it doubles if all champions in the synergy are present, and well-timed blocks inflict up to 1 weakness debuff on the opponent for 6 seconds. So I imagine the weakness is going to scale quite well with her damage, but because she has invisibility, I don't think she's really going to need the block proficiency. Again, there might be a substantial downtime on it, and if so, that's going to be very useful. But yeah, seems all right there. And then the next one we have is Till Death, Invisible Woman. When the opponent activates a special attack, if the force field is active, it gains additional strength for each bar of power spent. So yeah, that could be very, very useful there. We've also got Unfazed Synergy members. I assume this is probably going to be with Ghost as well. When the opponent misses, generate a percentage of a bar of power. This could be with, like, what is it, Hood? Who else turns invisible? Darkhawk, maybe. So yeah, interested to see that one. And then we've got One Way or Another. So we don't know who this one is with. I assume it's probably with Magic and some other champions as well. So passive fury, prowess, regeneration, indestructible, and limbo effects last a percentage longer. Yeah, again, I don't know who the other champions that this one, there are a lot of different champions that have, like, Fury, Prowess, and Regeneration. Maybe Namor, actually. Maybe Luke Cage with the Indestructible, but we're certainly going to have to see on that one. So yeah, she looks like she's got some alright synergies as well, but I'm really excited for Invisible Woman, man, and also Namor. Out of the two champions, I can't decide who I'm excited for the most. I think it's probably Namor, just because I can't wait to see those chain-on special attacks, but both champions look like they're going to be absolutely banging. I think both have some probably fairly solid god tier potential. I'm not seeing anything like at their base that's absolutely crazy that could be like beyond god tier game breaking. Maybe like Namor's regeneration if it's really, really good. But I think they both have potential to be some solid god tier champions if the values and numbers are there. So yeah, I'm excited for next month, man. It looks like it's going to be a really, really good one as far as the champions are concerned. But let me know in the comment section below who you most excited for, the Invisible Woman or Namor. Aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy today's video, please do smash that like button. It really does help me out. Aside from that, take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.